Hey everyone, Codex here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Elrond's native token EGLD, and we will be discussing whether this uptrend that we've had for some time now will continue in April or if things are about to change. We will also discuss if we will be looking at another downtrend because that's what holders are currently afraid of, since this move is starting to look like this one right here, which didn't end up well actually. So before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn those notifications on, and comment down below if you hold Egld or not. So, Elrond has been on a rampage in the second half of March, and from bottom to top, we went up by over 62%, which is significant considering that we aren't really in a bull run or anything like it. Now, the good thing is that Elrond managed to flip this resistance that we mentioned several times in the past, and it turned it into support. However, we have a new resistance that appeared on the VPVR indicator, which is at this $195 to $200 level. Now, this VVR indicator basically shows us area where there is a lot of activity happening. Whenever you see these spikes, which are called high volume node, that means that that specific area has a lot of retail interest in it, and this makes it hard to go above this level because we have several orders sitting in here waiting to be filled. This of course means that as long as we aren't above $200, we can still always trend down to lower levels. What we need right now is to break above this level, and as you can see, every time the price went above this high volume node, it spiked up because there isn't a lot of interest in these empty nodes, which are called low volume nodes, by the way. Meaning that there is no real resistance in here, and we've had a spike in here and also here, and then this one in here, and the same thing happened in here actually, although it wasn't that big of a spike. But you can see that as soon as the price trended above $200, it went incredibly fast to higher levels, and that's because, as I said, this is a low volume node where there is no real resistance whatsoever. Now let's take a look at our momentum because this is more important than anything else, and we've got something really interesting showing up. So this is the Phoenix Ascending indicator. It's actually more complicated than this, but I decided to remove everything so we can focus on two things: the blue LSMA and the red RSI. Every time the blue LSMA and red RSI trended above this mid-yellow line, we've had calls for an upward pressure and we experienced rallies, and we've had it here, also here, and back last year. And whenever these two lines, I mean the blue LSMA and red RSI, fall down below this mid-yellow line, what we experience is a bearish trend that lasts for months. And we've seen that happen at first amid the March crash in 2020, then back in Q4 of the same year, we have experienced the same exact thing last year. Look in here how as soon as the blue LSMA and red RSI fell down below the mid-yellow line, which is the level of 50, by the way, the bearish momentum became much stronger, and we've had the exact same thing happen at the start of this year. The good thing now is that the blue LSMA and red RSI are above this mid-yellow line, which historically speaking is a good sign. Both lines went above this mid-yellow line at about $165. I actually turned bullish on Elrond at about $150, $155 I think, and I made a video about it. And the trend will remain this way until both lines fall down again. Now, this doesn't mean that we can drop to $180 or $170 again. I never said that. This simply means that even if we drop, there is a high chance that our trend, that our bullish trend follows up and we keep going up. I do expect us to revisit this $180 support sometime in the future, and so we will see about that. And remember that although this is a very bullish signal that we are getting right now, this doesn't mean that we will 100% keep going up on the long term, because we don't have too many data points with Elrond. 3 times isn't really enough to make conclusions yet, and Bitcoin is what rules this market. We know this. If Bitcoin starts trending down again and it loses its steam, then Elrond will most likely follow it, or best case scenario, Elrond will keep hovering in its current range if we are super lucky, of course. So as I said, this is a bullish sign, but please be careful. On the weekly time frame, we've also managed to flip the 50 weeks moving average, which we've discussed previously. Now, this MA is very important because it was our support in here and also in here before these two main rallies. And so holding it right now is very important in defining our trend for the following months. If we can hold it in the following weeks, then that would mean that the bullish phase for Elrond will prevail. If we trend below it, then that means that things aren't looking that great after all. Now, Elrond BTC is also another important chart to look at because, as we always say, when buying an altcoin, you want it to outperform Bitcoin. You don't want your altcoin to just lose value to BTC, because then that would mean that its price action isn't that strong and you would be exposing yourself to a whole lot of risk for nothing. Now, since November of last year, Elrond has been losing its value against Bitcoin, and we are still down over 55%, meaning that if you bought Elrond from November, it would have been a much better idea to just buy Bitcoin. And this is why I don't like the idea of investing heavily into altcoins in bearish phases, because if Bitcoin is trending down, then altcoins will get hammered, which we have seen in the last months. I always say that in bear markets or bearish phases, it's much better to focus on Ethereum and Bitcoin as they don't get hammered at the same rate as altcoins. And you can later swap your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever to altcoins when the bull run prevails. Now, if Bitcoin goes up, Egld will most likely keep increasing in value against BTC. And if Bitcoin goes down, then Elrond will just keep losing its value against Bitcoin. We have been in this clear uptrend throughout the entire bull run, putting new all-time highs. And so it's normal to see Elrond suffer for some time against Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that was about it, guys, for Elrond today. Thanks for sticking by till the end. Don't forget to leave the video a thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below. Leave anything. I'll make sure to reply to you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to join our Telegram. Have a nice day and peace.